I built the best free-to-play Roccia in 24 hours. Alright chat, we gotta speedrun this. So yeah, first off, we need her boss materials. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you guys. My wave plates are capped, which is not good. So yeah, let's just get her boss materials first. And for that, we gotta fight the Lori. Let's just use the good old Jian team. And eat some attack buff food so that we can finish this faster. And yeah, let's just start. Let's just one-shot her with a Shorekeeper. There we go, no scam guys, no scam, you know, Shorekeeper the strongest DPS in the entire game. But HP. Alright, let's get our first one. Damn, we got lucky. Alright, when she's respawning, we can get her flowers. And she needs the firecrackers. And we're gonna be using your best friend in the game, the collection spots. So this will help us out a lot. I just fly there. Oh, what the heck? I can just use this. Yep. G. What are these things gonna look like? Okay. I think that should be enough. That should be enough. Next, we can move on to her echoes, my favorite parts. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know what? I still have some wavelets left, so let's just do a tacit field and try our luck there. I mean, who knows? We might get lucky. Alright, come on. Please, give me the right echo piece. Oh, what? First try? And you're empty. Alright guys, the daily reset just happened, so yeah. Rise and shine guys, it's time to level her up. Level up. I hope this is enough XP. Come on, it has to be. Alright, let's go.
Pero said she's feeling like she can take out 100 foes with one punch. Pero said she's feeling good. Get ready for her happy dance. Pero said she's feeling like she can take out 100 foes with one punch. Pero said she likes you even more now. Seems her strength and confidence are growing fast.
Yeah, I think we're done for now. Damn. Yeah, next we can move on to her weapons. I think it's so cool that Pero's the one who's holding the weapons. Like, yeah, that's a good detail. Alright, so when it comes to her weapons, her signature is of course her best in slot weapon. So if you want the max buffs from Roccia, then you need 70 crit rate. So yeah, like crit rate here helps. I mean, she has a base crit rate of 5. And then you get a 22% crit rate from the forecast. So yeah, just with that, you're already at 51% crit rate. And you'll need 19 crit rate from your echoes. Which yeah, should be a lot easier with her weapon. And keep in mind guys that she doesn't have any crit rate on her skill tree. So yeah. So yeah, you need to get the crit rolls yourself from the echoes. And the high attack here helps since it's a 5-star weapon. And then we have an extra 12% from here. And the heavy attack damage bonus is pretty good since most of her attacks is heavy attack damage. So yeah, you won't need as many heavy attack damage bonus rolls on your echoes with this. But if I'm being honest here, I personally will not be getting this weapon. Since there aren't that many gauntlet characters in the game who can use this. I mean, there's only like 6 gauntlet characters in the entire game. So yeah, easy skip for me. I would instead go with her second best option, which is Xiangliao's weapon. I mean, it has crit rate, the same attack, and 12% Havoc damage bonus. So yeah, not that bad. And this is only like 12% worse than her signature. Next, we have the standard gauntlet, the Abyss Surges. It's not a bad option. I mean, it's not crit rate, but the ER here helps. I wouldn't recommend getting this weapon since it's an attack weapon until you have the standard sword and the standard gun, since these are both crit rate weapons and yeah, you can use them on a lot more characters and they have more account value. So yeah, you'll be getting more use out of these too. I mean, again, there are only 6 gauntlet characters in the game so far, and realistically people only use 2 of them. Pull wisely. And here are her 4-star weapon options. Alright, let's get to her skills. Alright, so with her basic attacks, she has a 4-hit combo, as you can see. She has the best basic attack animations in the game, in my opinion. Like, yeah, Kuro just cooked with her. And you'll be mainly using this to fill up her forte bar. Alright, let's get to her skill. So with her skill, she pulls all of the enemies towards her and deals havoc damage. And then she jumps up and down saying Mamma Mia. Let's be honest here guys, this is the only reason why you pulled her. Oh, and you can also enter this state by holding the attack button when her forte is full. And this damage is considered heavy attack damage, like most of her kits. So yeah, you want heavy attack damage bonus rolls on your echoes. So when you first choose her skill, you will notice that her forte bar changes and she can only jump once. So how do you get more jumps? Well, you need more forte stacks. So what are her forte stacks? Well, she has 3 forte bars here and each bar has 100 stacks. So yeah, she can hold up to 300 stacks. Her forte stacks are called imagination and you use 140 stacks each time you do her Mamma Mia jump attack. So yeah, if you want all 3 of her jumps for her max damage, then make sure that your forte is full and that you have 3 bars. Now you guys are probably wondering, How do you get 40 stacks? Well, you can get them by holding the attack button. But yeah, this is pretty slow and I wouldn't really recommend it, but it works. So next phase by using her intro. So we fill up her consoro, there we go, and then we switch to her and she gets 140 stacks, which you always want to use. And you can also get 40 stacks when you do her basic attacks. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. The fourth one gives her an extra bar. Alright, so why did I mention that? Well, that's because of her intro puts her on her third basic attack. So if you do one more, then you can get 240 bars. Alright, so she has 040 stacks right now. So we can go here, get the intro, there we go, and then we switch to Roccia. And then do one basic attack. There we go, we got 2 bars now. And then the last phase is from her skill. So you get 140 stacks if you use her skill, there we go. And then yeah, you can do all of the A-MAMA-MIA attacks. Alright, so why did I mention that in that order? Well, that is because it's the fastest way to generate her 40 stacks. So yeah, you first start with her intro, which does some Havoc damage and gives her 140 stacks. And it also puts her on her third basic attack. And then you do one more attack and bam, fourth basic attack. 240 stacks, which is all you need. Anything more is a waste, since you gain the last 100 from her skill. And yeah, that's it. It's that easy. Next, you have her ultimate. So first, it does an initial hit of Havoc damage, which is again considered heavy attack damage. And for each 0.1% of crit rate over 50, she gives all of the characters on your team up to 200 extra attack for 30 seconds. So yeah, you want 70 crit rate for a full attack buff. Next we have her outro, which makes her Camille's best sub DPS. So it gives the next character you switch to 20% Havoc damage amplification and 25% basic attack damage amplification. So yeah, she's just made for Camellia, but that's not all, guys. So with her inherent skill 2, she changes the next character's utility to her magic box, which deals 100 Havoc damage and pulls the enemy towards it. So yeah, crowd control, perfect for smaller enemies and echo farming. So yeah, it lights up and then you just use your utility button, which is T on PC. And yeah, this lasts for 14 seconds or until the character switched out. So yeah, the same duration as her outro. Just make sure to use this as soon as you use her outro to get the full buff. Let's get to her inherent skill 1. So after you use her skill or her heavy attack, she boosts her own attack by 20% for 12 seconds. So for her talents priority, her forte is the most important one. And then her ultimate and her skill. After her basic attack and her intro, you can leave them at 6 or 5. If you're low on resources, it could get expensive with a weekly boss match. But guys, I didn't really pre-farm for her, but yeah, I hope this is enough. Let's just start with her inherent skills first, because these are the most important ones. Bam. Yep, this thing is gonna be the main problem for me. There we go. And then let's just unlock these, because yeah, they're pretty cheap. There we go. And yep, good stuff, man, good stuff. More crit damage is always good. There we go. Yeah, we're done. Perfect. 420. And yeah, let's just level these as high as we can. It's still pretty good in my opinion. Alright, let's get to her sequences real quick. So her S1 gives her 140 stacks. Add in Consoro after you use her skill. So yeah, it lowers her field time. So you won't need the fourth basic attack hit from her intro. You can just do intro and then skill and then yeah, you're done. It also makes her immune to interruption when you do her 40 jump attacks, her A-MAMA-MIA. This is a good quality of life, but that lowers the character's damage because it lowers her field time. So yeah, less time to do damage. Her S2 makes her the best Havoc sub DPS in the entire game. So it gives her up to 40% Havoc damage bonus for the entire team after you use her 40 jump attacks or A-MAMA-MIA attacks. So yeah, you can basically run Camellia with double attack tree costs and still do a lot of damage. Her S3 increases her crit rate by 10% and her crit damage by 30% for 15 seconds after you use her intro. So yeah, this helps you with her ultimate attack buff, the 70% crit rate. Her S4 increases the damage multiplier of her 40 jump attacks by 60% for 12 seconds. Her S5 increases the damage multiplier of her ultimates multipliers by 20% and her heavy attack damage multiplier by 80%. Her S6 makes her 40 jump attacks ignore 60% of the enemy's defense and she can do like 10 jump attacks like bam 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 bam. So yeah, OP. Alright, so next we have her echoes. So when it comes to her echoes, you have two options. First is the new Midnight Veil set, which gives her more personal damage, Havoc damage bonus for your main DPS, and more overall team damage than the Moonlit set. So the difference with this set is that it gives more damage to your main DPS, and this works on more teams since it's not like Havoc damage bonus, this is attack bonus, so every single character in the game can use this. While this one here mainly benefits a Havoc DPS. Alright, so I'll be honest here. If you already have a good Moonlit Cloud set and you're planning on pulling for Brant or Phoebe, then I would say that you should stick with a Moonlit set for now and save your Echo XP for Brant and Phoebe. That's what I'll be doing too. I mean, I can always get the set later when I want. Alright, so I got this screenshot from IWinToLose Gaming, and if you look at the difference between the Midnight Veil set and the Moonlit Cloud set, so with the Midnight set, Roccia does a lot more damage here, as you can see. Like, her personal damage a lot more compared to the Moonlit set. Like, yeah, a lot lower damage. But then if you take a look here, the Camellia's damage, as you can see, it's 4% more on the Moonlit Cloud set. So yeah, more damage for Camellia. But again, like I said earlier, she will have less overall team damage, but it's like 2.8% damage, so it doesn't even matter. Like, that's barely a difference. And you should also keep in mind that you need a good Midnight Veil set, so you can't just like slap random ones on your Roccia. It needs to have good stats, which will take a lot of tuners and Echo XP. So yeah, I will let you guys decide if you want to do this. And before you guys ask in the comments, yes, you can give her the Havoc Eclipse set, so basically your Camellia set, and play her as a main DPS. Alright, let's get to the forecast. So for the new sets, the Midnight Veil, you would ideally want the Nightmare Heron. I mean, it gives you a 12% Havoc damage bonus just by equipping this, and 12% heavy attack damage bonus, which Roccia needs, so yeah, this is perfect for her. As for Allura, I wouldn't recommend this. It's not good on Roccia since it gives her basic attack damage instead of heavy attack, so yeah, just stick with the Nightmare Heron, it's better. As for the Moonlit set, you of course want the Heron. And when it comes to the Echo's main stats, so with the 3 cost, it depends on what weapon you have on her. There's like a 4 to 7% difference, depending on what weapon you're using. So yeah, just look at this chart, and you pick one depending on the weapon that you're using. So yeah, for the 4 cost, we want crits. For the 3 cost, again, it depends on the weapon that you have on her. Double Havoc or Havoc and attack. As for the 1 cost, of course, double attack. And when it comes to the substats, you want 20 to 30% ER, since you need her ultimate every rotation. And yeah, this has the energy cost of 125, so yeah, make sure you have enough energy, and also make sure that you have 70 crit rate to get the max attack buff for your team. And then yeah, you have the usual crit damage, attack, and heavy attack. So I will just give her the Moonlit set that I made for dungeon for my 24 hours video. So yeah, these are like my final stats. Keep in mind that I can get more crit damage if I unlock these, like 11.2 crit damage from here. Minimum stats, you want 2000 attack, 70 crit rate for her max attack buff, at least 260 crit damage, and 120 to 130 ER. Alright, so when it comes to her teams, so because of her outro here, the Havoc damage bonus and the basic attack damage bonus, her perfect teammate is of course Camellia. But she also works well with Havoc characters like Havoc Rover or Dungeon. But yeah, I've seen people playing her as a main DPS with Morifi because of his outro, the 38% heavy attack damage bonus. But yeah, let's be honest here, Morifi would be better on a Gian team, and Roccia would be better in a Havoc team. So I wouldn't really recommend this team. But she can also work well with Encore or with Changli. I'll probably use her with Changli for echo farming. But yeah, thanks to her low field time, she could honestly work in any team as a Moonlit set buffer. As for the healer, any healer works. But yeah, the best are the Shorekeeper and Rena. And the Shorekeeper could help with her crit rate requirements, since she gives everybody on the team 12.5% crit rate with her ultimate. So yeah, this is like her best team. Alright, let's get to her rotations. And yeah, let me just reset my tower real quick. So yeah, your main goal is to fill her Consoro as fast as possible, because the longer she's on field, the less damage your main DPS will do. So yeah, get all the 3 jumps and then use her ultimates to buff your team's attack. So you start with the intro, you get the 140 stacks and then do a basic attack, and it also puts you in her third basic attack. So yeah, one more and then bam, fourth basic attack, 240 stacks, and then you use her skill to get a third 40 stacks, and then you do 3 basic attacks, so the 3 Mamma-Mias, her ultimates, echo, and then you swap to your main DPS and use the box immediately, and yeah, you're done. It's that simple and fast. Oh, and if you end up getting interrupted, which you will if you don't have her S1, then you can just hold the attack button and yeah, go back up again. Damn, 261k guys. What? 153. Bruh. That's the most I've ever hit with Camellia. And the thing is, guys, my Camellia stats, they aren't even like that good. Like, what? How is she? How is Roccia so good, man? So, is she worth building? I mean, it's hard for me to recommend her. I mean, she's fun, but not really a must-have. And they should have put interruption resistance into her base kit, for like when she's jumping up and down, instead of locking it behind her S1. Otherwise, you're just gonna get like hits around when you're jumping, and you can't even dodge. So yeah, rip. And to be honest, if your Sanhua is S6, then yeah, you don't really need Roccia. And Sanhua has no no interruption problems. I mean, the only reason why I could recommend Roccia is if you need Sanhua for another team, like for your Encore team. But even then, is she worth like the 80 to 160 pulls? I mean, at the end of the day, she's like a luxury pull. So she's good to have, but not a must-have. I mean, she did kind of save my Camellia's damage. Like, I've never hit so hard with Camellia before. And I'll mainly use her for events, where there's like a group of smaller enemies. And for echo farming with Chongli. And yeah, let me know what you think about her, and if you have her, or if you want to get her, and how much damage your Camellia does with her, and if you think she's worth it or not. Anyways, if this video helped you, then you can help me by liking and subscribing. And yeah, good luck building her. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night.